I will bear same, the same. State. Under the I do further solemnly that's the qualifications right? Office, member of the Board of Education, and that I am not, and that I RSI conviction and that I will justly perform the duties of office according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Our next, I'm just going and for those who raise your hand, at the Winslow maximum.
I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
Support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
Constitution of the State,
and that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same and to the governments established
to the governments established
in the United States and in this state,
and in the state,
under the authority of the people.
under the
Thanks for
authority
using WebEx. Visit our website at www.webex.com.
That I will possess the qualifications
that I will possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of member of the Board of Education.
for the office of member of the Board of Education,
That I am not disqualified as a voter
and that I am not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to RS
pursuant to RS
19:4-1,
19:4-1,
nor disqualified
nor disqualified
due to conviction of a crime
due to conviction of a crime
or offense listed in the NJS
or offense listed in the NJS
18A:12-1,
18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Ms. Wanda Glory.
Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Wanda Claude,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly affirm
I do further solemnly affirm
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of member of a board of education,
for the office of a member of the Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter
and I'm not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to RS
pursuant to RS
19:4-1,
19:4-1,
nor disqualified
nor disqualified
due to conviction of a crime
due to conviction of a crime
or offense listed in the NJS
nor offense listed in the NJS
18A:12-1,
18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Mr. Michael Clark, and Mr. Long.
You want to call your family up here to be with you? Sure.
And thank you for the honor. Appreciate it. I state your name,
I, Michael Clark,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and this state
and this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of
for the office of
member of the Board of Education,
member of the Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified
and that I am not disqualified
as a voter
as a voter
pursuant to Title 19,
pursuant to Title 19,
nor am I disqualified
nor am I disqualified
due to a conviction of a crime
due to a conviction of a crime
or offense listed in 18A,
or offense listed in 18A,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of that office
office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, sir. As they're being seated, they're being handed a framed certificate of election, just so everyone is aware. That's what I'm handing out. And I'll read one, and they're all typically the same. The Board of Canvassers of Camden County, New Jersey. This board does determine that an election held in said county on the 5th day of November in the year of our Lord 2024, Michael Clark, as well as the three other individuals who were sworn in, was duly elected to the office of member of the local Board of Education, Winslow Township School District. In witness whereof, signed this day by Donna Robinson Taylor, Chairperson, Board of County Canvassers, and Joseph Ripa, Camden County Clerk. Mr. Clark,
Thank you.
all yours, and here's your.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Long.
You're welcome, Mrs. Blow.
So we'll have a roll call. Mr. Clark,
Here.
Ms. Dredden,
Here.
Ms. Claude,
Here.
Ms. Martin, present. Mr. McManus,
Here.
Ms. Peterson,
Present.
Ms. Pitts,
Present.
Mr. Shaw,
Present.
and Mr. Thomas.
Here.
We have a quorum. We're going to move on to the election of officers until the next reorganization meeting in January of 2026. And I'd like to open the floor for nominations for the board president.
I'd like to nominate Cheryl Pitts for president of the board.
There's no need for a second. Under our policies, by one motion can nominate a candidate.
Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate John Shaw for president of the Board of Education.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing no others, I'd like a motion to close nominations for board president.
Motion to close.
A motion to close. So Ms. Martin,
Second.
and can you call your name? Because I don't recognize.
Sorry, Jerry McManus, second the motion.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to have a roll call to approve closing the nominations for board president.
This is-
Mr.
Again, this is not the election of the board president. This is closing nominations. Thank you, Mrs. Boyle.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Claude,
Yes.
Ms. Martin. Yes. Mr. McManus,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
The motion has carried. Mr. Long?
Thank you, Mrs. Boyle. As we move to elect a president of the board and have two candidates listed, I have found that, first of all, the law requires that there be 5 affirmative votes for any candidate, which is the majority of the full membership of 9 of this board. So you need 5 affirmative votes. And there's 9 individuals seated. You can vote for yourself. That is not a conflict. You are permitted to vote for yourself. Typically, unless there's an objection, I hear an objection, it's usually easier to vote that when your name is called, that you, since we have 2 nominees, that your vote either says Pitts or Shaw. If everyone's in agreement with that, and it'll expedite the process and we won't have to go through it twice. Since there's 2, we will determine based on that call, hopefully, unless there's an abstention and a tie, which then will lead to another vote and another vote and another vote. We will then proceed with electing a president. So you do need a motion, Mrs. Boyle.
So I need a motion to elect the president of the Winslow Township Board of Education.
We actually have 2, Mrs. Boyle. So we've already made those motions with Mr. Shaw and Ms. Pitts. So we can proceed to a roll call under the way that I outlined it by reciting when your name is called, Pitts or Shaw. Having heard no objections to that process.
So we don't need a.
No, sir. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Mr. Clark,
Shaw.
Ms. Dredden,
Pitts.
Ms. Claude,
Shaw.
Ms. Martin. Mr. McManus,
John Shaw.
Ms. Peterson,
Pitts.
Ms. Pitts,
Pitts.
Mr. Shaw,
Shaw.
Mr. Thomas.
Shaw.
Mr. Shaw has 5 votes, Ms. Pitts 4. So it appears that Mr. Shaw has been nominated as board president.
Mr. Shaw, it would be appropriate this time for you to take your seat as board president and guide us for the rest of the meeting, sir.
Before we move the meeting on, the first thing I want to do is I want to thank Mrs. Pitts for all her years of leading the school board. She took me on when I first came on and gave me a lot of guidance, so your applause is well deserved for her. Our next order of business would be to open the floor for nominations for vice president.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Joe Thomas.
Are there any other nominations for vice president?
I'd like to nominate Ms. Rita Martin.
Do we have any other nominations? Motion to close nominations for vice president?
Peterson moved to close nominations.
McManus, second. Ms. Boyle, can we have a roll call?
Close nomination.
Close nominations for vice president?
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Claude,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McManus,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
And Mr. President,
Yes.
thank you. Again, since there are two members nominated, if we can proceed in the same course that we proceeded with the president election. We have two nominated in position, so we'll need a motion for one or we'll need to take a roll call vote. Those are the only two names in nomination. And I would ask that you respond by either saying Thomas or Martin when your name is called. Ms. Boyle, maybe we proceed?
Mr. Clark,
Thomas.
Ms. Dredden,
Rita.
Ms. Claude,
Thomas.
Ms. Martin, Mr. McManus,
Thomas.
Ms. Peterson,
Martin.
Ms. Pitts,
Martin.
Mr. Shaw,
Thomas?
and Mr. Thomas.
Thomas.
Mr. Thomas has received 5 votes, so he will be installed as vice president.
Next, we're going to move on to appointment of the board secretary. Need a motion to approve the appointment of Ms. Tyra McCoy Boyle as board secretary of the Board of Education.
Peterson moved for approval of Mrs. Tyra McCoy Boyle as board secretary.
Dredden second.
Ms. Boyle, roll call?
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Claude,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. McManus,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
The motion has carried.
Next, designation of public agency compliance officer. Motion to approve the appoint Ms. Tyra McCoy Boyle as the public agency compliance officer.
Peterson moved for approval of Mrs. Tyra McCoy Boyle as the public agency compliance officer.
Pitts second.
Ms. Boyle, roll call, please.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Claude,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. McManus,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
The motion has carried.
Move on to business and operations. We-
Consolidate those and go A through C if you'd like.
Okay.
Mr. President.
Can we get a motion to approve the business and operations items A through C.
Peterson move for approval of the business operations, item A through C.
Good second.
Ms. Dredden, roll call.
Boyle.
Or Ms. Boyle.
Was that Ms. Drayton who did the second? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
I was writing your name as I was saying it. I'm sorry.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Claude,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. McManus,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
The motion has carried.
Next, we're gonna move on to the appointment of delegates and board committees. I tried to do the
And
best.
that's done by the board president, so
Yes.
that everyone is aware, and it, as elected as the board president, Mr. Shaw will be identifying those individuals on what committee.
So,
You may make the announcements if you care
yes,
to, Mr. President.
so if anybody chooses that they don't want to, their assignment and anybody that wants to replace them, please let me know. So, New Jersey School Board Association representative, I chose myself for that, and Mrs. Pitts, if you don't mind, you can you be the alternate for me?
Yes, Mr. Shaw.
Okay. Camden County School Boards, Mrs. Pitts.
Yes.
Urban Boards Committee, Mr. Thomas
Yes.
and Miss Martin. I know you've been involved with that too, so I kind of put both of you in with it because, okay. Camden County Educational Services, Miss Martin. Athletic Committee Chairperson, Joe Thomas, myself, and Miss Claude. Citizens Advisory Committee, Miss Martin and Miss Claude. Education Committee, Miss Martin Chairperson, Miss Peterson, and Miss Claude. Oh, I'm sorry. Athletic Committee,
Athletic Committee, I have Mr. Joe Thomas, that's the chair.
myself, and Miss Claude.
Okay. Citizens Advisory,
That was Miss Martin and Miss Claude.
okay, Education was Ms. Martin.
And Miss Peterson and Miss Claude.
Gotcha.
Marketing. Miss Pitts, do you mind being the chairperson of that?
Sure, Mr. Shaw.
All right. And Mr. Thomas and Mr. McManus are a part of that. Negotiations, Miss Peterson, chairperson. Mr. Thomas and Mr. McManus. Oh, no, I'm reading the marketing committee again. Miss Martin and Mr. Clark, I'm sorry. I can't read my own writing sometimes. Operations, Miss Dredden as the chair.
Okay.
Peterson, Martin, Clark. Operations, Ms. Dredden, Mr. McManus. And myself. And policy, Ms. Pitts is the chairperson, Ms. Claude and Mr. Clark. And the municipal drug and alcohol, myself back for the planning board. Mr. Thomas for the Municipal Drug and Alcohol Alliance, and Mr. Thomas for the Economic Development Council, because he was already appointed by the township. Now, as we've done in the past, to adopt a school representative. Each board member, if you want to pick a school, we'll continue that. As we've done it at each year, we'll keep doing that.
Mr. President, if I may, I'd like to pick the high school if I can.
Okay.
Mr. President, I will take school number 5.
Ms. Martin, you want school number 5?
Yes.
Mr. President, school number 3.
And I would like the middle school.
Okay,
Mr. President, I'll take the Early Childhood Education Center.
okay, Mrs. Fisher, got it. Ms. Dredden, you said you wanted the
Middle
middle
school.
school?
Mr. Shaw, I have Miss Pitts as the early childhood. I have.
Ms. Peterson is school 3.
Okay.
Ms. Martin is school 5.
Ms. Dredden at the middle school, Mr. Thomas as the high school. So we still need schools 1,
Yeah, 1,
2,
6.
4, and 6.
I could do school 2.
Okay, Mr. Clark.
And 1. Right?
Can I do one, can I do 2 schools? Can I
Save
do
one for
1
me.
and 3? I mean, 1
Ms.
and,
Peterson has 3 already, Ms. Claude.
I'll do school 1.
It would be an honor if that you would consider me for school 4.
And with school 4, Miss Martin is in school 4.
Oh,
No.
that's
No, she's
school
in
five.
school 5.
School 5.
Oh, I can't read across. Okay. McManus.
And I can do school 6 because there's 9 schools. So.
Do we have 1 covered?
Miss
Yes.
Pitts is, they're all covered.
We don't have 5 covered.
Yes, we,
Yeah, we do.
Ms. Martin
Martin
has.
has
it.
5. Yeah, 5.
May I, Mr. President?
Yes.
Just for the record's clear, Early Childhood Education Center is Ms. Pitts as the school representatives. These are all school representatives. School number 1 is Ms. Claude. School number 2 is Mr. Clark. School number 3 is Ms. Peterson. School number 4 is Mr. McManus. School number 5 is Ms. Martin. School number 6 is Mr. Shaw. The middle school is Ms. Dredden, and the high school is Mr. Thomas. Need a motion and a second and a roll call vote, please.
Peterson moved for approval of the adoption of the school representatives as stated previously.
Pitts second.
Ms. Boyle, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Miss Dredden,
Yes.
Miss Claude,
Yes.
Miss Martin,
Yes.
Mr. McManus,
Yes.
Miss Peterson,
Yes.
Miss Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Moving on to old business, is there any old business? Next, the new business, any new business?
Mr. President, if I may, I just have a statement or something I would like to read to the many folks in attendance today, if I can. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. This is a record-setting crowd. We got the boxing champion in the world. We got the deputy mayor, Ms. Lee, over in the world. We got Committeeman Watkins here. We got the emergency EMT people in the house. We got the soccer team and everybody in the house. And this is a crowd that makes me proud. And this is why I got into this business, so we can have all different people come into one building to make decisions. So I just want to read a little statement on my past few years, and just bear with me, and hopefully I can get through it. It has been an extraordinary honor to serve the Winslow Township School District over the past 2 years. During this time, I have witnessed firsthand the incredible progress and achievements of our students, who continue to excel in the classroom and on the athletic field, setting a high standard for success. I would like to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to Ms. Pitts for her exceptional 14 years of service as board president. Her leadership has been guiding light for our district, and we are counting on her wisdom to help steer us into the exciting new chapter. The accomplishments of our students are truly inspiring. The Honor Society is growing stronger than ever, showcasing academic excellence, leadership among our students. Our digital media class continues to shine, displaying their immense talents across the state of New Jersey. The Winslow Choir has become a prominent act throughout the township, bringing joy and pride with every performance. The Drama Club continues to produce Oscar-worthy plays to captive audiences and highlight the creative brilliance of our students. This year, we have also celebrated and launched our newly designed district webpage, providing updated and accessible information for our families and community members. Winslow's accomplishments are gaining well-deserved recognition, with many new articles featuring our students being broadcast on television networks. Another milestone achievement is opening up the brand new school, welcoming 164-year-old students and creating new jobs in our community. This significant step highlights our commitment to early childhood education and fostering opportunities for our youngest learners. Our athletic departments continue to lead the way, breaking records and gaining national notoriety. Our programs like the Social Environment Learning, Intramural Soccer League, showcasing our dedication to holistic development and creating spaces where all students can thrive. None of these achievements would be possible without the support and collaboration of the Winslow Township community, from the HSA to the Winslow Booster Club and countless nonprofit organizations that work tirelessly for the love of our students, to the cooperation of our governing bodies. Every effort has been vital in ensuring to highlight and celebrate the greatness of our districts. We are so deeply grateful for the contribution from our alumni who generally has supported initiatives like the resurrection of the Wall of Fame, a symbol of Winslow legacy, Edgewood legacy of excellence. To our all stakeholders, student achievement is and all will remain our top priority. We are committed to including your voices and ideas as we strive to meet our goals and reach new heights of success. Together, we'll continue to build a future filled with opportunity and pride for every student in Winslow Township. Thank you all for allowing me the privilege of serving an exceptional district. I look forward to all we can accomplish together in the years ahead. Winslow winning.
Mr. President, I'd like to thank Joe Thomas for his words, but I also want to include, because he's a Rowan graduate, Committeeman Glickus is in the audience too from Ward 1.
And we
Darius,
also have Darius People from Ward 2 who's in the office
yes.
too, newly elected.
Is there any other new business?
If I may,
Yes.
I don't think I'm as eloquent as Mr. Thomas, but I do want to thank everybody here that has come out here that wants to invest time in the Winslow Township School District. I, for one, cannot wait to see what happens in this town. I honestly believe it. And I look down this dais here and I look out over there and I think that we have all the potential in the world. This may not sound like the most sophisticated statement in the world, but we are going to get ready to rock and roll and prepare the kids in this school district to be part of a competitive world economy. And I cannot wait to see the success stories that continue to come out of the Winslow Township School District.
And I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight to share this momentous occasion for all of us new electees on the board, and thank Ms. Cheryl Pitts also for your service and all the other board members that have tirelessly given all of your service to our community. And thank you, community, for coming out, and hopefully you'll keep coming out to our board meetings and giving us your voice, because your voice matters. Without your voice, we can't continue to move forward. So we need you to continue to come out and be a part of the movement for our community and for our students. Thank you very much.
Anyone else with new business?
Just wanted to say to all who have come here this evening, thank you so much for showing us that it's important that we are supported as a board by our community. I would also say to all the new board members and also to those of us who are more seasoned, that going forward, we need to be sure to be prepared and be informed, and also be united in our certain efforts to take this district forward. And I would end by saying I would hope that we would all keep a community on the other side of this continent in California that's really literally LA County burning up. For those of us who have friends and family out there, keep them in your thoughts and keep them in your prayers. Because community, that's a community, and just as we are a community. So thank you very much.
Well, I'm gonna say one thing real quick before we wrap up new business. I want to thank all our elected officials that came out. our nonprofit, Men Empowering Nation, for being here, and the young men that came out with them, with our mentors, all our staff that's here tonight, and all our community members, stakeholders, some of our students that are here. Our former board member, Miss Becky Nieves, is here, and some of our former teachers that are here. I want to thank everybody for being here, and I want to thank, again, Mrs. Pitts and all the board members, that have supported me for my whole entire time on the board to help me get to the spot where I'm at right now, because if it wasn't for you, all of you that have been by my side, especially Miss Pitts and Miss Morton and Miss Peterson, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. So and most importantly, for all of the community members that have supported me through my time on the board. So I really appreciate it. Come out, help to support all the wonderful things that our students in Winslow do. From the marching band, our arts, our musical theater, you can't beat spending a night watching our high school perform, whether it's in the fall or in the springtime. You can't beat a marching band performance, whether it's in the bitter cold or on a hot spring, or even a hot fall day. Come to a sports game, whether it's our state championship football team, or watch our baseball team or our tennis team, or a soccer team. You can't beat it. Not only does our school board try to give 1,000% for everything we do for our students to make sure they achieve the highest goals, but I know our township, Committeeman Watkins, Committeeman Peoples, and Committeeman Glickis, I know we all try to do everything we possibly can to make sure every student that walks through the halls of Winslow schools comes out with the best possible education. That is the common goal that we are trying to achieve, and that's what we were going to do for you. The best possible job that we can do. That's why you elected us. That's why we're sitting here. So please, if you have anything that you need to add to us, for us to help do our jobs, that's what we're here for. Send us an email. We'll probably send you through the chain of command, but ultimately, that's what we're going to help you. So please, whatever we can do, let us know. And thank you again for all coming out and supporting us. If there's no more new business, I'm going to move on to informational items. Dr. Carcamo.
Yes, Mr. President, I have just two minor announcements. So we had a school closure on Monday due to the snow. And as a result of that, we will be adjusting our calendar for spring break. So spring break will now be April 17th, as it originally was, early dismissal. And we will be returning on Thursday, April 24th. So we take the last day, we start at the end of the break. So every time that we have to take a day, we start at the back end of the break so that the staff and students will still have somewhat of a break. So right now, we've only had to take away one day, and hopefully we won't have to lose any more. So school will resume on April 25th. So we lost one day, we lost a Friday, and you'll be back in school on Friday, okay? Ms. Murphy? Okay. I'll make sure you know it. And also, unfortunately, we had a minor mishap at the middle school. In our life skills classroom, we had a coil that broke, that burst. And as a result of that, we had water damage. So that classroom has been shut down. We're working on it to resolve the issue. Maintenance was in right away to make a minor repair, but that room will be shut down. And because of the damage, we lost all of the furniture in there, and we will be working with the insurance company to resolve that issue. We mentioned earlier in our last board meeting that we were getting a new website, and Mr. Thomas mentioned that again. So I want you to know that we are still working on our website. We will be continuing to update information, and you may see some old information, and that's as a result of things being carried over. So we are still putting information, and we are removing those things that should not be there. So I don't want you to think that because it's there that we are done. We will continue to work on it. And that's it, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Mhm,
Cardinal. And I
sure.
might add that the website is much easier to navigate through now than it was before.
Well, that was the goal.
So if it keeps progressing, it's going to be super easy. Mr. Long, public comments?
Thank you, Mr. President. The Winslow Township Board of Education highly values the input of citizens in making the important decisions that affect the children of our community. We believe in the rights of citizens to observe board meetings, to ensure that all of our citizens have the opportunity to attend school board meetings and offer comment, and to ensure that the board can conduct the important business of the district. We ask that the speakers follow the guidelines for making public comments. The board secretary will recognize those individuals in the audience who wish to make comment, and we ask that you kindly respect the following procedures. All members of the public attending school board meetings must treat each other and the board with respect. 2, please state your full name and your town of residence. Address is no longer needed. Number 3, please limit your comments to 4 minutes. Number 4, submit, in the event we're unable to answer your questions this evening, kindly submit your questions to the Board of Education with your name, address, and telephone number where you can be contacted, and your question will be answered within a reasonable time frame. Lastly, individuals offering citizen comment are not permitted to make personal attacks on any district employee, board member, or other testifier or member of the public. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Boyle, do we have anybody that signed up for public comments?
Yes, Mr. President, Ms. Leanna Nieves.
My name is Leanna Nieves from Superville, New Jersey.
Ms. Nieves, would you lower the microphone so we can hear your important words? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Watkins.
I attend Winslow Township Middle School. I'm in 8th grade. I'm a part of the Student Government Association and National Junior Honor Society. Today, I attended the New Jersey Association of Student Council Convention at the College of New Jersey. The sessions I took at the convention are mastering the art of public speaking and enhancing community engagement via school events. Collaboration with local businesses for events and using social media for all school events, including the middle school and the high school, will definitely help make community members attend the events. Robocalls to go out to all school events, not just the upper and lower elementary schools. An idea for the middle school and high school SGA and National Junior Honor Society would be to have a General Assembly, which is a group of volunteers who would help run school events. Using social media to market the events as well would be helpful, and providing recognition for all bands, orchestra, the marching band at the high school, and the color guard. Thank you for your time.
Ms. Nieves, would you like to share your notes with me?
Sure.
Can you forward them to me? Can you email them to me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Unfortunately, I forgot a step. I forgot to make a motion to open public comments.
But it still counts.
Yeah, so need a motion to open public comments.
Motion to open public comment.
Second thing.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Boyle, is there anybody else that,
Yes, Mr. Shaw, Marcy Tomasello.
Hi, I'm Marcy Tomasello from Elm. At this time, I'd like Becky Nieves, if you'd please stand. I've known Becky for many, many years, and it is a pleasure to recognize her for her service on the board. during this last term. What you were able to accomplish in such a short amount of time is commendable. And I think that we as a community thank you and hope you, I know you're still staying active. I watch you on social media, but I hope you'll consider running again. We need you back up here. Thank you.
Ms. Boyle, is there anybody else that signed up for public comments?
Yes, Mr. Shaw, and I'll apologize right now because I'm reading handwriting. It appears to be Devin Davis.
Good evening and congratulations to everybody tonight. Here. I'm here tonight. I had put in a request to have an executive meeting. And I just wanted to know if there was any update to that.
I did not receive through the administration office your request, Mr. Davis. And I believe at the last board meeting, you were told to forward that to the administration. We've not received that.
Okay.
Anybody else?
That concludes those that have signed up. I will check with Mr. Falciani. Nobody's on the line? Okay, so, Mr. Shaw, that concludes those.
Then when you're done, if you wouldn't mind seeing Mrs. Boyle and signing it, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Giovanni Boyle. I'm a resident of Winslow Township. I'm actually up here because I've been attending the board meeting since November, trying to get some resolution for my child. I too have submitted an email asking for an executive hearing, and I haven't heard back about a date. So I would like to know a date.
So the administration has not received an email from you requesting an executive hearing or meeting. The administration has not received anything from you. So Ms. Pohill, did you send your request to my office or to the superintendent's office? That's where your request has to go.
I sent an email and I CC'd multiple individuals on that email, as well as Ms. Pitts on that email.
So you need to send a request directly to the superintendent's office, and that would be me.
You're now the
requesting,
superintendent?
Well, I'm sitting in his seat, so your
I'm
request
asking
will
a
need
question.
your request will need to come to me, Ms. Pohill.
I already CC'd you on a lot of emails, Dr. Carcamo.
I'm not talking about a copy. I'm talking about a direct request. That's what you need to do.
No
And that's
problem.
what has to take place,
Email you
okay?
When I sit down, but I'll be at the next board meeting again.
Ma'am, if you would be kind enough to check in. Thank you so much.
I'd like to say something. And it's, I feel like I have to say this. We're only here to get help for our kids. Y'all say y'all want to help us, and y'all say y'all want to do so much great things for the community. But when there's an issue, and I understand you have to go through the chain of command. I'm not saying anything is wrong. But when we go through those chains of command, and you say a direct request, or we reach out to a board member, or we email, or we get phone calls, and then we stand up here and to go through basically a repeat is what you're asking us. It's just not fair. I don't feel that a parent have to go through so much stress to just get help. That's it. Help. Thank you.
Pardon me, sir. Are you Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anybody else, Ms. Well,
No, Mr. President. That concludes. And we would need a motion to close.
a motion to close public comments?
Motion, close public comments?
Redden second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, who, I couldn't hear the second.
Redden second.
Thank you, Ms. Jordan.
No, Mr. President, there is no executive session this evening, this being in the nature of a reorganization meeting, which essentially is a ceremonial function. We will be having two, I see from our schedule, two additional meetings this month. So there'll be plenty of time to go back to, sorry to disappoint everybody.
At this time, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Pitts?
Second?
All in favor?
I'm sorry, who was
McManus.
McManus? Thank you, Mr. McManus.
Of course.
Do we need a vote?
Yeah, he asked for all.
I asked all in favor.
Oh.
All in favor? To adjourn?
Aye.
Otherwise, we'll be sitting here for the next 3 days.